The Outstanding Masters University and Colleges Professor of the Year is Russ Colson, Professor of Anthropology and Earth Science at Minnesota State University Moorhead. Introducing Professor Colson is his former student, Tab Preisel. Tab, would you please step up to the lectern?
Thank you. I should begin by telling you that throughout my K through 12 education, I hated science. At least I thought I hated science. Even though much of my early childhood was spent outdoors collecting rocks and dreaming about volcanoes, these interests were never allowed to fully blossom in the classroom. To me, science was just some old, boring book on the shelf. That is until I met Dr. Russ Colson. I'll never forget my first course with Dr. Colson, historical geology. It was the first time I sat in a science class both having fun and excited to learn more. And let me tell you, nothing jumpstarts the morning like seeing your professor leap up onto the front table of the classroom and pretend to be a velociraptor. I suspect Dr. Colson has always taught science in this way, with a wise mind and a youthful heart. His classroom, never void of participation, was a treasure trove of learning. I can still see the magmas ascending through the Earth's mantle on his chalkboard, and I can still hear students chuckling about his uncanny ability to incorporate phase diagrams into every discussion. Whether he was empowering us to question in the field or a dinosaur on top of the table, Dr. Colson simply found a way to captivate each class and ingrain each lesson in a unique and memorable way. His innovation and dedication extends far beyond the classroom as well. Dr. Colson strongly encourages each student to participate within his research group. Here, students head their own projects in the experimental petrology and electron microprobe lab that he single-handedly built and facilitated. This is a rare opportunity to gain hands-on experience at an early undergraduate level. Furthermore, each project is linked in a collaborative environment, so we not only seek advice from Dr. Colson, but also each other. It was a great feeling of independence while knowing you were still contributing to a larger whole. I could go on about Dr. Colson's credentials, which does include developing the entire geosciences program at MSUM. However, I feel what sets him apart won't be found on any list of accomplishments. What these things cannot accurately depict is his honest, caring, and passionate heart for each and every student that walks through his door. This is the foundation for his success, and also the successes of his students. He quickly becomes more than a professor, mentor, academic advisor, and research advisor. He becomes a true friend. Most importantly of all, Dr. Colson has instilled in me the knowledge and the confidence to take myself further than I'd ever dreamed. After finishing up an internship with NASA, I was recently awarded a university fellowship into the Geological Sciences PhD program at Brown University, where I'm currently studying. I have Dr. Colson to thank for these accomplishments and more. And while I may never be able to thank him enough for all that he's done for me, I would ask that you join me in trying by congratulating Dr. Russell O. Colson as the Case 2010 Outstanding Masters Universities and Colleges Professor of the Year.
No honor of this stature can be the work solely of one person. I don't have the time to list everyone who contributed to this award, but I would like to thank 5 groups of people and give for each just one example lesson that I learned from them. 5 thank yous, 5 lessons. Thank you to my friends and family. My parents first showed me that if you want to teach someone anything, you have to first truly care about them a great deal. Caring leads to building community through humor, through sincerity, through personal concern for students. My wife, a middle school science teacher, told me once, "Laugh with your students." Great advice. I play learning games in my classes, make ice cream during labs on phase equilibria, and have my research group to my home each spring for a cookout. Dr. James Comer, who has studied relationship and teaching extensively, wrote that no significant learning occurs without a significant relationship. I would also like to thank my teachers. I'm going to highlight only one of many great mentors, my undergraduate stratigraphy professor, Dr. Merrill. His class launched my journey toward a style of lecturing in which I present thought puzzles that my students and I solve together. These thought puzzles focus our thinking on how we learn, not on what we know. My university sits in the Red River Valley of the North, once filled by the prehistoric glacial Lake Agassiz. Louis Agassiz, the great earth science teacher of the 1800s, after whom the lake was named, once said, "The book of nature is always open." He meant that understanding of the earth is found in reading the earth, not in knowing the textbooks. Thank you to my colleagues who have provided support and many great ideas for interacting with students. My first academic dean, who took me under her wing when I arrived at MSUM as the university's first geologist, told me once, "You seem to be a good coach." I like that image. A coach encourages, instructs, pushes to excellence. A coach doesn't just teach the rule book, but how to play the game, practicing and doing, not simply hearing and knowing. I especially want to thank my students. The theme of my teaching might be summarized as "My students and I do science together." This award is theirs as much as mine. Teaching and learning is what we accomplish together. They make me a student with them, keeping me passionate and excited in learning. They remind me that learning is about wonder as well as understanding. I have a picture here. I don't know if we have it anywhere, but there. See that picture? It's a picture of a little girl with a seashell and a pearl by a sea. And I've kept this picture since my first days at Minnesota State University in Moorhead, 17 years ago. I've kept this now tattered picture in my office to remind me to be a student at heart and not forget the joy of discovery. Finally, thank you, CASE, Carnegie Foundation, TIA, CREF, Phi Beta Kappa, and other sponsors for honoring me and my students in this way. Teaching is an intense endeavor, and its product intangible. Often, our real accomplishment flies beneath the radar. We sometimes need encouragement and affirmation. There are many great teachers pouring out their hearts and minds to students, many without receiving awards. But I hope that this honor, this thank you, gives me renewed energy for this great calling of teaching and provides everyone the renewed confidence that good teaching is indeed valued and that what we do, even when sometimes it flies beneath the radar, matters a great deal. Thank you.
And we're going to smile. Russ, congratulations on being named the 2010 Outstanding Masters Universities Professor of the Year.